the Bible college level, that usually makes some pretty salty competition for any Division II Bible college team. And, Rick, you've seen that well over the years.
Battle tested. I mean, that's kind of what teams are doing. They also play up, raise a little money, Rob, going to get some money games, and we'll see if it helps today for these two.
Hugo Rodriguez in the white will jump center against Mike Lovercheck in the black. Grace wearing black with blue trim and white numbers. Arlington Baptist in the white uniforms with red and blue trim. And Grace will be shooting at the basket off to your right. There's a shot that is no good, and Rodriguez will grab the rebound for the Patriots of Arlington Baptist. With the basketball is Josh Green. He'll swing it around the perimeter of the arc. Rafael Garcia, they'll get it to Reed, who is one of their leading scorers, and he'll try to get into the lane, but turn it over as Levi Entz picks it off at the other end. Ball poked away and out of bounds. It will go to Arlington Baptist. So no surprise, both teams a little bit nervous. And if you're trying to, and for those of us who remember the bracket back in the old 8-team days, this kind of is, you know, you're trying to play into that particular bracket today, and that makes this game all important for these two teams.
One way to play the weekend. Got to win today.
Long top of the key three is up and good. That one fired home by Rafael Garcia. So the three ball gives Arlington Baptist the early advantage, 3-0. Played a little more than a minute. They'll get the ball into the post where it's knocked out of bounds. And Grace will keep the basketball. J.J. Hartung will pull the trigger on the inbound.
Hey, fist motion, let's go.
Inbounds it'll come to Akeem Stewart. He'll give the ball to Lovercheck, who will get into the paint, miss the shot, no good. Entz tries to grab the rebound, tips it to Stewart. It goes underneath. Shot is rejected as Lovercheck tried to get it up there. And Hugo Rodriguez, the 6'7" sophomore for Arlington Baptist, will give it off to Rod Reed. Reed averages 11.9 per game. Around the perimeter of the arc, they'll bounce it into the post to Jeremiah Ford. He's double teamed, and a travel is going to be called. Spencer Plank, 5'11" junior, into the lineup for Grace. He's out of Arthur, Illinois. Stewart will give to Plank. Plank, their leading scorer, at 14.8 a game. Into the post, it'll go to Lance Evans, and the junior will lose the ball out of bounds. It was tipped away from him by Jeremiah Ford. First of 4 today. We'll be here until late into the evening. Ball poked free through the hands of Spencer Plank, and a driving layup by Josh Green, 6' sophomore. Green out of McKinney, Texas. In fact, all of the players on this roster for Arlington Baptist out of the state of Texas. And McKinney, Texas, a suburb like Arlington in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, though I don't think it's safe to say that they're close. Plank has it bounce off his hands. It is 5-0. Stewart gets it back. Shot clock down under 10 as he spins into the lane and banks it off the glass. So Stewart gets Grace on the board. I think you could hear Willie Williams wanting a timeout, but didn't get one. I think he wanted to talk a little defensive strategy as Reed will try to whip the ball into the post. It's poked away, and Grace on the run. A driving layup is good by J.J. Hartung, and it's a 5-4 game. So with 16:50 left to play, as you see the score. Arlington dressed in the white uniforms. Grace in the black. Ball ends up in Reed's hands, and he'll lob it underneath to Rodriguez, who will lay it in. Rodriguez does most of his work on the glass, averaging 5.7 rebounds per ball game. Into the post, Lance Evans against a double team. Entz in the paint, rattles one in and out, no good. Plank with the putback, that's good. It's a 6-0 run a 6-2 run. And Arlington with a 1-point lead in the ball. It was 5-0 at one point. Patriots had the lead. There's a baseline drive and a turnover by Josh Green. Plank ends up with it. Grace shooting for the lead. Driving layup is good. J.J. Hartung has 4. And it's 8-7. Haven't played quite 5 minutes yet here in the opening game of the national tournament here at Central Bible College. 3 ball from the left wing is off, no good. Missed by Garcia, but Arlington will get the ball back. Green cut off on the baseline. He'll force one up off the glass, no good. And Stewart with the rebound. He'll leave the ball for Plank, and it's knocked out of bounds by Rafael Garcia. 15 minutes, 13 seconds to play here in the first half. Josh Penny is in the game. He's a 5'11 freshman from Lancaster, Texas. He'll watch as Grace gets it to Stewart for a teardrop on the baseline. Stewart has 4 of Grace's 10 points. Hartung has 4, and Spencer Plank with 2. Foul line jump shot is too hard, no good by Garcia. Rebound to Grace. Pull up 3. Line drive shot off the iron, no good. Saved inbounds, no. Stepping out of bounds with it is Lance Evans. And into the lineup for Grace will be Treston Mayo, 5'11 freshman out of Omaha. Three-point lead for the visitors on the board. That's Grace University. Arlington Baptist with the ball, double high post, and they will give it to Ford. Outside Reed. 3 ball won't go, but there's the rebound to Rodriguez. He'll put it on the floor. It'll be picked up by Ford, and his shot is blocked, and a foul is going to be called. Levi Entz will pick up his first foul. First free throw is up and good for Jeremiah Ford. Ford does a little bit of everything for this ball club. Their leading scorer averaging 14 points a game. He'll roll the second one off, no good, so he's on the board today. It's a 10-8 game. A teardrop runner by Stewart in the lane is an air ball. Picked out of there by Josh Penny for Arlington. Reed will take it all the way to the rack and lay it in. Rod Reed with his first 2 for the 5'9 senior. And we're all tied. Reed out of Fort Worth, Texas. On the other side of the Metroplex, Arlington in between Dallas and Fort Worth. A foul is going to be called on Penny. That will be his first.
New guy. Blue Jay, Blue Jay, Blue Jay.
Penny will grab a seat. On the inbound, a held ball as Entz and Rodriguez get tied up. And the possession arrow will favor Arlington Baptist. We talk about their entire roster is from the Texas area, and most of it is from the Dallas-Fort Worth area. McKinney, Texas, northeast of Dallas. Probably about 30 miles away, but I have a feeling they consider themselves part of the Metroplex. And probably a 45-minute to an hour drive from Arlington Baptist as Reed into the lane. Will pitch it outside to Josh Green. They jump out on him so he can't turn the corner, but they leave him alone, and he gets all the way to the glass to lay it in. Josh Green has 4. Arlington Baptist on top by a basket. Pass into the post is stolen away. They were looking for Lance Evans, and taking it away is Jeremiah Ford. Reed has it on the side, feeds it to Ford in the lane, who goes up, and he'll draw a foul. Mayo will get called for the foul. It will be his first. Forward to the line where he hit 1 of 2 a moment ago. He knocks down the first. He's got 2 in the game, shooting 1 more time, and he'll get them both this time around, so he has 3. We played 7 minutes. It's 14-10, and as most good games are, this has been a game of runs. Arlington sprinted out to the early lead. Grace was able to get a run back and make it 10-7, but now it's a 14-10 lead for Arlington, so they've run off 7 unanswered points, and they come up with a turnover. Reed will find Ford head of the circle. 3 ball from the wing is good. Knocked down by Rafael Garcia, his second trifecta of the ball game, and we'll get a timeout taken by Grace University. It comes with 12:33 left to play here in the first half, and Arlington has opened up a 17-10 advantage. At Grace University in Omaha, Nebraska, you can expect a great education. That's a given. But the folks at Grace also believe that what's in your heart is just as important as what's in your head. Combine your intellect with your faith at Grace University. Grace University is all about life, preparation, questions. Contact Grace University at graceu.edu. That's www.graceu.edu. This the first of what will be 4, as we mentioned. The second ball game, which is scheduled for a 4 o'clock start today, will be the 6-11 matchup. This the 7-10 matchup. Number 6 seed Valley Forge will take on Ozark Christian at 4 o'clock, and then tonight at 6, it'll be the 8-9 game between Multnomah University and Manhattan Christian College, the number 9 seed. And the late show tonight will be at 8 o'clock. The 5 seed Florida Christian against the 12 seed and the host from Central Bible College. After the timeout, Grace with the basketball. Outside it'll go to J.J. Hartung. Trying to get it into the lane is Mayo. Lovercheck has it. He'll pitch into the corner for an Evans 3 ball that's no good. Rebound off to Hugo Rodriguez for Arlington Baptist. They've run off 10 straight to go from 10-7 down to 17-10 up. We played 8 minutes. Ball poked away by Evans, but Reed gets it back. On the wing, in front of the bench. Josh Green down to the baseline. Reed feeds to Ford in traffic, and the ball is stolen away, but Evans turns it back over. Ford can't handle the pass, and it's picked up by Arlington Baptist. There was a change of possession in there, so the shot clock reset. Reed brings the basketball out front. Green has it. They've got some guys who can get to the rack, and Reed is one of them. Though he gets hung out a little bit and double pumps on the shot, leaves it short. And Grace University with the rebound. There's a blocking foul underneath the basket, and Reed is the player that hit the deck. And Reed will get hit with his first personal foul, and that is the first foul called on Arlington Baptist in the game. There haven't been many, only 3 total in the game. Mayo and Ince have fouls for Grace. So they're letting them play, and they're doing so. The teams are within the framework established. Into the paint, a kick outside. And Hartung rattles one in and out, no good. Rodriguez yanks it off the glass for Arlington Baptist. And he averages 7.6 boards a game, and he's got a basket full already. 3 ball is missed, no good by Garcia. And a good block out by Grace. They'll get the ball to Evans in the short corner. He'll turn and knock one down. Lance Evans with his first two. 17-12. Arlington Baptist on top. You see the time, and that stops a 10-0 run for Arlington Baptist. Reed tries to cross over on Mayo, but can't do it. He'll get it back. Look for Ford down in the short corner as he stepped out of the block, and the pass is knocked out of bounds with 12 to shoot. Reed to pull the trigger. Ford has it. Fakes a three. And Evans knocks it out of his hands, and Ford touched it last. It'll be Grace University basketball. Kendall Washington, a 6'3 freshman, comes in for the first time for Arlington Baptist. He's out of McKinney, Texas. They have a 5-point lead. Grace has the ball. And Evans will spin baseline, miss it, no good. Evans gets it back, throws it outside to Plank, who saves it. Inbounds. It'll go right back to Evans in the lane, and he'll get the layup. A lot of work for that basket for Grace University. 9.5 minutes to play here in the first half. Washington sets the obligatory moving screen. Reed can't use it. Rodriguez outside. They'll find Kendall Washington. Washington also quick to the basket with a reverse layup that does not draw iron. And it's rebounded underneath by Washington, and then trying to save it, he throws it out of bounds. Back in is Spencer Plank and Levi Entz. Briefly in was Washington for Grace. Handling it out front, Mayo will hand the ball off to Plank. He'll drive all the way around and lay it in. Spencer Plank has 4. (17-16). Game of runs, and Arlington Baptist now trying to slow down a 6-0 run for Grace, who is trying to reclaim the lead, and they'll get to the line with an opportunity to do so. Spencer Plank is fouled underneath. Garcia will pick up his first foul. Plank is 79, almost an 80% free throw shooter, misses the first. First game of the national tournament, nerves will do that to you. And you know about those things, don't you, Rick? Having played for Kentucky Christian back in the 90s. Evans will grab a seat for Grace University. Mark Spare, 5'11 junior, into the lineup. He's from Ashland, Kansas. Second free throw is good for Spencer Plank. He has 5. Tied at 17. Reed is open. 3 ball is down the well for Rod Reed. That will be 5 points for Reed. 20-17 Arlington Baptist. I was talking about nerves and how you know a little bit about that, as Grace has the basketball. Plank outside. You played in a few of these games, didn't you? Ah. Spare will pick up the dribble, find Entz down to the baseline. He'll lean in on Rodriguez, as post play is, you got to be a grown man to play on the inside, which is how they do it on the higher levels. And Entz was able to create some room but missed the shot. 7:40 to go, first half. We'll see Hakeem Stewart come back for Grace. And a foul, a push. It's going to be an offensive foul on Rod Reed, and that will be his second. 20-17. Now, I will ask you again. First time you were busy doing something, and I started it before I looked over and saw you were busy. The second time, we had the old first day jitters. But you played for Kentucky Christian in this event back in the 90s. Won a couple of national titles in a row. What about 4 in a row? 3 in a row?
2 for me, but 3 in a row for the school, 4 in 5 years. Yep.
And you had a chance to cut down the nets. There's a pass into the lane. So you understand what first game jitters are like, as driving all the way up floor is Josh Green. He has 6. And talk about how the game has changed just a little bit.
You think? Since we were doing it, you were calling games back then too, Rob. So it's interesting with Willie Williams. He's got such a veteran squad. So you think the nerves are a little less with that, but and Arlington, kind of the school here, Rob, that
they're the newcomers.
They're the newcomers, but they were in the ACCA last week. How much experience do they get from being in that championship? You know.
Well, they've got some guys, and where we talk about how the game is different. The guy who has the ball now, Josh Green, either hand, he can seem to get to the basket and get there quickly. And so they'll run a lot of the offense that you'll see some of the bigger guys do. Pull-up jump shot, right side, is knocked down by Johnny Schrake. He is a 6'1 freshman out of Kennendale, Texas, for Arlington Baptist, and they lead 24-17, so they've run off 7. And Ince will throw the ball out of bounds. But the whole point is that you get a little nervous the first time around when you're out there. It doesn't matter how experienced you are. You realize you're playing for a national title.
Well, and then with that experience, you got seniors on the roster that realize, man, we lose today.
That's it.
We're done. We get a consolation game, and my career is over. So there's a little pressure for the seniors as well as the freshmen.
You know, I take a look at Arlington Baptist roster as Ford gets it inside and lays it in. Nice assist. He has 5. They may be young enough that they don't realize what's going on because they're freshmen and sophomores.
Yeah, and that region, this is your neck of the woods. I mean, they've had some success here. They've heard the stories of Southwestern Christian coming in here and being a 7 seed or a 10 seed and making a whole lot of noise. So,
after a plank miss, Arlington gets it back. Rodriguez has it outside. We've got a couple of new ones getting ready to come in the case of both Ince and J.J. Hartung. They're coming back, and Schrake proves he can get to the basket as well. He's got 4, and Grace will call their second timeout of this game with 5:33 remaining here in the first half. And it's 28-17, and after this game was tied at 17 apiece, a 7-0 run got Grace back even. Arlington has run off 11 straight.
And I know one thing about Willie Williams. He is a defensive-minded coach. Every time I've interviewed him, it all starts with the defense. His philosophy reminds me more of ours at KCU than any other team I've seen here except maybe Grace Bible. And so you wonder why he called that 30. Well, Arlington guard just got to the rim without any help defense at all, Rob. And anytime you see one of these guards get to the basket, Willie Williams not too happy over here on the Grace sidelines.
And when you take a look, though, both of these teams are capable of getting the ball up and down the floor and can both score in the 70s, but yet there are times that you can still play pretty good defense and score a few points.
Yeah, they've won with their D. What did he say pregame interview? Held Manhattan to 16% shooting in the first half of that regional title game. He wants to hold Arlington to 34 less in both halves.
And a noble goal, and it's 68 points a game. That would be good.
Yes. Because
Arlington Baptist scores quite a few points per game. They're both in the 70s. 13 to shoot after the timeout. Stewart will give the ball to Plank, and he'll get into the lane and hit the teardrop. He has 7. You take a look, and Grace scores 78.7 a game. Arlington scores 76.7 a game. Here it's 28-19 with just under 5 minutes to go first half. Garcia Rodriguez way out front, but right now, last two possessions, the shot clock has gone under 10, which is unusual as Hartung pokes it away. Evans dives after the ball. It's free on the floor and out of bounds. All that hard work will result in Arlington Baptist getting the basketball, but you know as well as I do, eventually, Rick, hard work like that will pay off for Grace.
They play hard. I mean, they play hard defensively. They play hard, and again, it's a staple of a Willie Williams coach team. So
Rodriguez with a screen for Josh Green. He's going to get into the lane, pitch it to Ford underneath. Good ball movement on the interior. Rodriguez has 4. And the lead is 11, and we get a hand check. And the hand check on Josh Green.
Hey, special!
Sixth foul called on Arlington Baptist as a team. First on Green, Penny has 1, Reed has 2, and so does Garcia. And Grace will turn it over. Evans was looking for Spencer Plank. He thought he was spotted up in the corner, and Plank was spotted up more on the wing. These two ball clubs matched up on the other side with Valley Forge and Ozark Christian. Green has it with 3:40 to go. An 11-point Arlington lead. And Green will have it taken away from him by Plank. And Grace has numbers. And Plank will challenge Rodriguez. Missed the runner, but cleared space and got himself a good shot. Schrake behind the back on the interior, and Ford gets fouled and will go to the line. Levi Entz will pick up his second foul. First free throw for Ford, in and out, no good. Officially, they're saying that's his first. Treston Mayo will come back into the ball game.
Just heard Willie Williams talk to Spencer Plank, and they want to play aggressive, D, but they want to be about an arm length apart, and Plank a little bit too close. It allowed the dribble drive, which allowed all the problems on the defensive end for Grace.
6 for Jeremiah Ford. Stewart from the foul line. He has 6. 10-point game. Arlington with the lead and the ball. It'll go into the corner to Schrake. They'll find Rodriguez underneath. Evans blocks his shot. And the scramble on. Ford will save it inbounds, throwing it off of Grace's Spencer Plank. Reed comes back in for Garcia. And according to our numbers, Reed playing with a couple of fouls, so he needs to be careful. I guess I've been around coaches too long that sit you if you get 2 fouls in the first half. You don't want to get that third, and we get a whistle and a foul away from the ball.
How does Kirk handle that? Is it 2 and you're done for the half?
Nope.
Or he'll let you play a little bit?
He says you've got to learn to play intelligently at that point. That is the second foul on Levi Entz. A hold. Rodriguez will get it inbounds for Arlington. Green will go the other way on the baseline, find Ford. Outside, Reed for 3. That was a sweet-looking shot, and he was well defended. 8 points for Rod Reed. And we get a stoppage. And it'll be Arlington ball, as it wasn't necessarily I guess it was a baseline violation in getting the ball inbounds, and they didn't do so properly.
We're going to talk about it right now.
34-21, Arlington by 13. And it will be the Patriots ball. Josh Green outside, guarded by Stewart. Rodriguez checking things out, finds Shrake. Ford will give it back to Green, 13 to shoot. We're under 2 minutes to play here in the first half, and the Patriots by 13 in the 7-10 matchup. 3 seconds on the shot, and Green will jump up and stick a three. He has 9. 5 trifectas here in the first half for Arlington Baptist, and the lead balloons to 16. Grace trailing. They need to get a hoop here with 90 seconds to go in the half.
Fish motion, let's go.
Stewart trying to cross over on Green, dumps it for Evans. Evans takes Ford into the lane. And then Stewart, shot clock is under 10, and he'll jump up and hit the first 3 of the game for Grace. He has 9 here in the half. Down to 60 seconds. Ford to Green on the perimeter. Ford in the lane, pitches out to Green. He sets for 3. It bounces off, no good. And the rebound to Rodriguez. A new shot clock for Arlington Baptist. About 4 seconds difference, shot clock to game clock. Leading by 13. Green thought about a 3, but there's still plenty of time to shoot, so he'll go back outside. Josh Green, the sophomore, with 9 first half points. 5 seconds to shoot. He's going to try a 3 ball and missed it, no good. In fact, it did not hit the rim, so with 3 seconds left, up floor, driving layup at the buzzer is no good, but the tip will go. So Mayo missed the layup, but the ball is tipped in at the end, and at the half, it is 37-26. Arlington Baptist has the advantage here at the intermission, and we'll be back to take a look at the scoring and get ready for the second half coming up. Welcome back to the Forrest Arnold Activity Center in the campus for Central Bible College. Day 1 of the National Christian College Athletic Association Division II Basketball Championship. The first game, the 7-10 matchup with Arlington Baptist leading Grace University here at the half, 37-26. And they led by 16 at one point, 37-21. And Grace University closed the first half on a 5-0 run, getting a tip in from Levi Ince at the end of the half to get the margin to the 11 points that it currently is. We take a look at the individual shooting for Arlington Baptist, or actually the team shooting. They hit 56% of their shots, 14 of 25, and they're 5 of 10 from the three-point line. And when you shoot 10 of your 25 shots from the floor, you don't get to the line much, 4 of 6. So they hit 56% from the floor, 50% from the arc, and 66.7% from the free throw line. Grace University, 12 of 25 from the floor, 1 of 5 from 3, and 1 of 2 from the line. 48%, 20% from beyond the arc, and 50% from the line. 13-12. Arlington has the rebound advantage, and Hugo Rodriguez with 7. And of the 12 rebounds, they're going more by committee with 3 apiece for Akeem Stewart and Levi Ince. Dennis Washington with a couple in there for Grace University. 1 assist on 12 made baskets and 10 first half turnovers for the Royals. 8 assists on 14 made baskets and 10 turnovers for The Patriots of Arlington Baptist, each team with 6 steals in the first half. And Rick, when you take a look at the 10 turnovers here in the first half, I mean, you're on a pace for 40 turnovers, and that's a little bit high. And so you could see the nerves early before they settled in.
Yeah, a lot of turnovers, and if I'm Willie Williams, a defensive-minded coach, at 56% shooting percentage has got my blood pressure up after 20 minutes of basketball.
Well, not only that, but 3 over his average of what he wanted, but he's still keeping them in the ballpark there.
Yeah, that 5-0 run at the end of the half, I heard you talk about it, was absolutely enormous in this game.
And Grace is going to get the basketball to start the half, and they'll keep it as Akeem Stewart will handle the basketball. They'll get it to Lovercheck in the lane, and he'll bank it off the glass. And that is his first 2 of the game. He's their second leading scorer at 13.6 a game. But they're on a 7-0 run, and they've cut it down to 9 as Arlington touches it for the first time here in the second half as Green feeding it down low. Rodriguez cut off by Ince, who partially blocks the shot. Rodriguez tied up after grabbing the rebound, and the possession arrow will stay with the Patriots.
Hey, Brad, you have Levi for 3. Doesn't he only have 2? Does anyone know how many fouls number 40 has for me?
There's a 3 out of the corner.
Push it, go.
Garcia has 9, and we get a foul at the other end as J.J. Hartung reaches in and commits the foul. The foul on Garcia as Hartung was pressing it, so we'll see Johnny Schrake come back for Arlington Baptist. Grace will inbound, and Hartung will miss one. Ford goes after it and grabs the rebound. Ford in the first half with 2 boards. Reed will get nonchalant with a pass and just kind of one-handed off, and Hartung also almost took it the other way. He stepped out of bounds with it.
Make sure you're help side, Mike.
12-point lead for Arlington Baptist, early second half, 18:40 left to play in the game. First of 4 here this afternoon on the NCCAA Sports Network as Reed cranks up a 3 that's long, no good. Lovercheck the rebound. He's going to race the other way. Green tries to poke it away from behind and eventually does so, but knocks it out of bounds. Taking a while to get it in, and Stewart comes out of there with it. Ince with an open look from the baseline. Missed it long, and it comes back to him, and Rodriguez will grab yet another rebound. He's looking for double figures in rebounds here in this one. He had 7 at the intermission to go along with 4 points. Schrake will get to the foul line and pitch it back out. Green will find Rodriguez. Reed has it on the wing. Under 5 seconds to shoot. Reed gets a screen. Gets all the way to the cup and lays it in. Reed in double figures with 10, and I thought for sure he was looking at a 3, but he had the quickness to get to the basket and get the shot to go. Evans misses underneath, and Rodriguez with another rebound. It's a 14-point lead for the team with the ball, Arlington Baptist, 42-28. As Stewart will kick the ball out of bounds.
I need everyone sitting here. Sit here. Let's go. No penetration. Let's go. Come on. Sit.
This game was 37-26 at the intermission. And Reed, 3, good. Rod Reed with 3 threes. They've got 7 of them. 13 for Reed, 7 threes, 3 for Reed, 3 for Garcia, and Josh Green with a 3. And there is an offensive foul.
Offensive foul called on number 30, Lance Evans.
Evans picks up his second, so Evans has 2, and Entz has 2 for Grace University. 16:59 remaining, 45-28. And the 17-point lead, the biggest of the game for the Patriots. This is the 7-10 matchup. 3 ball. Reed missed it long. Rebound tipped out. Green got a piece of it to Ford for Arlington Baptist. Played 3.5 minutes. Ford sets the obligatory moving screen. Green will look to fire it across floor. He was thinking that Reed was spotted up in the opposite corner, and in reality, he was out on the wing. I'm not sure at a guard spot. Reed at 5'9" would have been able to get that one anyway.
He does have 2.
Mayo trying to get to the basket, lost the ball. Another turnover.
Let's go, let's hear it.
And Rod Reed will get a screen from Ford. He never did really set it. And a hand check is going to be called on Mayo. That'll be his second foul. Second team foul of the half for Grace University. We talk about the moving screen. We'll see if we can find one here in a minute, because there usually is. That time Ford set a screen, but Evans steals the pass. He'll feed it off, and Lovercheck will lay it in. He's got 4. 15-point advantage for Arlington Baptist. You're supposed to get stationary when you set that screen. Schrake in traffic, has it blocked by Evans. He'll loop it ahead over the top of the defense to Lovercheck. Reed goes for a steal. Lovercheck with a layup. He's got 6. And Arlington Baptist is going to take a timeout as their 18-point lead, or 17-point lead, has been cut down to 13 with 15:31 remaining. And this close to the end of the ball game. Not that it's close, but you've got a 13-point lead, and you'd kind of like to keep it that way with what is at stake on the line, because the winner of this game will move on to Thursday's action against the number 2 seed Northland International, and that will be 2 o'clock Thursday afternoon, and of course we'll have it right here. Today's game brought to you by Grace University, located in a historic neighborhood nestled in the heart of beautiful Omaha, Nebraska. Grace University has a long-lasting reputation of developing servant leaders for the home, the church, and the world through excellence in biblically integrated education. To learn more about all that Grace University has to offer, or to apply online, visit their website at graceu.edu. That's graceu.edu. They will come out. Grace will, with Treston Mayo, Mike Lovercheck, Spencer Plank, Lance Evans, and Levi Entz. Jeremiah Ford, Rod Reed, Rafael Garcia, Hugo Rodriguez, and the guard, Johnny Schrake. And they have the basketball after their first called timeout of the game. Reed will pick up the dribble, get Ford cutting back door for a layup. Jeremiah Ford is close to double figures. He has 8, 47-32. Back the other way, Evans gets it down to the lane and lays one in. He has 6. 47-34. We played 5 minutes here in the second half. The thing that Grace is going to have to do is put some stops together and get a run going. Trading baskets will not be enough as Reed gets it into the lane and lays it in. He's got 15. 15-point lead for the Patriots. 3 ball out of the corner is good for Spencer Plank. He's in double figures with 10, and Grace will get a 30-second timeout, their third called timeout of the game. This one with 14:38 left to go, their first called timeout of the second half, and they're within 12. 49-37. That would be a nice way to get it done if you can trade 3 for 2. There are enough possessions left in the game to do that and get back in the game. They've just hit 2 threes, however, in this contest, and they are capable three-point shooters. That's the other thing, that if you have not followed this national tournament, and that is that every team has at least one, possibly two guys who can shoot it from long distance. And now we're starting to see, much as the guys that you see it playing in March Madness, that you're going to have guys who can get it to the rim, just like Mr. Reed, who will float one up off the glass, no good. Rodriguez with the rebound, and he'll get fouled. Levi Ince was there, so was Lance Evans. And they give Evans his third foul. So Rodriguez will go to the line for a couple of throws. First free throw is going to bounce off the back and fall off, no good.
Spencer, were you in that corner? Did you have 33? Cut him out!
Ince is going to grab a seat as Venice Washington comes in. Now, I'm remembered, and I know it wasn't you because I've seen you play. Second free throw in and out. Ford loses it out of bounds. We're talking about good shooters, and your Kentucky Christian ball clubs had a couple of guys who could shoot it from way out.
Ty Barnes, maybe?
Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of.
Yep.
And now this pairing here in the announce table, as Green gets it in the lane, shouldn't necessarily be the proverbial match made, because it was the Kentucky Christian teams of the mid-'90s that kept CBC, from the host school, from winning 3 more national titles.
There were some fond memories. Boy, I tell you what, playing Martin, Troy Martin back in '95, a Maravich Award winner, and I tell you, back in our '95 title, the toughest game we had was in the semis against CBC. Once we got by them, it was smooth sailing in the title game.
Free throw is off, no good, and that was the thing. There were a string of, what I want to say, 3 straight third-place finishes, or it was 2/3 and a second, sandwiched around a national title, that if it hadn't been for you guys, and I'm talking about Kentucky Christian, that the Spartans would have had a couple of more national titles and played once in the championship game.
Yeah, I think the other culprit in that era was Josh Pyatt. Maybe that name rings a bell.
That
TCU's all-time leading scorer may have helped as well, but Ty Barnes, the main culprit in that era.
Yeah, he can shoot it from the volleyball line in as Ford gets it in the lane. Pitches back out for Green, who has his shot rejected, and it'll go out of bounds. It'll stay with Arlington Baptist. 13:42 remaining in the game.
He's the best I've seen at this era, Rob.
He's certainly one of the better shooters, yeah. Reed tried to catch it with one hand and couldn't corral it. And the ball will go over to Grace University. Now, I got to say, I'm sure there were some that were close, but Troy Martin was maybe one of the better all-around players that I've seen in quite a while. I will admit to looking at that through rose-colored glasses. We get a scramble, and the ball will stay with.
He's getting a little chippy out on the floor right now. Guys playing hard, don't want to play in that Wednesday consolation game. I remember Troy Martin going baseline on us and throwing one down with 2 hands, and it's been 18 years ago, so obviously it was something special that it's still in my mind. So he was a player for sure.
Well, I could remember him handling the ball and shooting the 3 as Plank missed one. The rebound to Evans. He has it swatted out of bounds by Rodriguez. My thought was that he could do, if you needed somebody to handle the ball at 6'3", borderline 6'4", he could do that. He could play low. As J.J. Hartung gets the layup. Got him with 6. 51-40. 13 minutes to go. Arlington with the advantage. And, yeah, he could take it and get to the rack. He could drive it a little bit.
Finish a little bit.
Yeah, he could. He wasn't the pure shooter, though, and like I say, I don't think anybody was like Barnes. There's a floater in the lane by Schrake, no good. Rodriguez goes back up. Had his shot rejected by Washington, and Grace will head the other way. A basket cuts it to single digits. Into the corner, Evans. Going to get to the basket. We have an injured player down underneath, and an offensive foul is going to be called on Evans, and we have a player down, I said, underneath in the corner there, and that's Spencer Plank. And for Evans, that will be his 4th foul. So Plank will come to the bench, and Arlington Baptist will inbound the basketball. They're going to leave Green to handle it outside. Reed will get it to Ford, who will give it to Green. And that's kind of what we were talking about, setting the moving screen as Green gets it in the lane and missed it. Rebound to Hakeem Stewart, who will get the ball ahead to Mayo. Mayo's 3-ball to the air is good. Mayo with his first 3 of the day, and it's an 8-point game. So Grace has cut 9 points off of the 8 points off the lead. Go the other way. 9 points off the lead and trail by 8 with 11.5 minutes to go. There's a 3 no good, but Ford cleans up the mess and lays it in. He's got 10 and is in double figures.
That guy's got Terrence Culler shoulders. Looks like he's as wide as a refrigerator.
Oh, he could be a linebacker. Stewart gets it in the lane, dumps it low. Underneath, working his way in, is Lovercheck for the layup. He's got 8, all here in the second half, 53-45. And Reed just flings it up on the glass, and Washington will tip the rebound ahead to Stewart. Grace on the run. Lovercheck attacks the rim and puts it up no, and we get a block on Jeremiah Ford. That will be his 2nd.
Referee right on top of that call. Good idea by Ford, but when the Royal tried to dribble around him, he slid late and clearly was not in position to draw that charge.
So the left-hander at the line, and the free throw is good. Nine for Lovercheck. He's shooting 10 here in the second half, and he'll get it. 53-47. It was 45-28 at one point. A 19-8 run. 10:45 remaining in the game. And Grace's defense has gotten a lot better as Ford spins on Lovercheck, goes up for a reverse layup. It's blocked. He gets it back and will get to the line. And Ince will pick up the foul. That will be his 3rd, so he will join Evans with 4, Ince with 3. Ford at the line for 2 throws. The first is good. He has 11, shooting 12. Arlington Baptist with the lead, as you see. He gets both of them. 55-47. And Lovercheck with a beautiful move on the baseline, and a block is going to be called. Reed will pick up his third. So Reed and Garcia have 3 for Arlington Baptist. Free throw is up and good. Lovercheck on a 13.6 point per game average. Shut out of the first half, and they're making it a point to get him into the flow, and he has 12 second half points. And it shows, doesn't it?
They got him out in transition early in the second half. Got him some easy baskets, and that can help the confidence.
55-49. Garcia trying to get to the rack, can't do it. Waits for the defense to fly by, missed the shot. Rodriguez the rebound, his fadeaway off the glass. That was a tough shot, folks, and he has 6. Falling away, and he did something that players don't do anymore, and that's use the board, and we're going to get a block called on Josh Green, and that will be his second.
It was all set up by the fact that Levi Entz is having trouble underneath against the athleticism of that Patriots front line. He's got to put a butt in the gut and keep them off the boards.
That's what you got to do to block out, and it's hard to do. And it also, Lovercheck has to play a little more inside, though he's doing well there. 3 is missed, no good by Mayo. Reed the rebound. He will slow things up with 9.5 minutes to play. And an 8-point lead. Arlington Baptist with the ball. We'll see Spencer Plank come back. He's got 10. Backdoor cut. Rodriguez missed it. Or Garcia missed it. Rodriguez rebounded it. And a new shot clock for Arlington Baptist. Plank on a 14-point per game average, almost 15. Has 10. Garcia bobbles, but regains control. Missed it, no good. And Lovercheck with a rebound. 9 minutes to play. A bounce by Mayo to Lovercheck is kicked out of bounds by the Patriots. And we'll see Plank in for Mayo. Schrake will come back for Arlington Baptist, and Rafael Garcia will grab a seat. Our next game starts at 4 o'clock. That will be the Valley Forge matchup against Ozark Christian. See if I'm remembering right. Yes, the 6-11 matchup. Got to remember, Sonny, my mind ain't what it used to be. Rodriguez head of the circle with 8:40 left to go. 15 to shoot. And Arlington Baptist now starting to play half court. And they're having trouble getting to the rack, though Rodriguez does that time and gets the hoop, and he'll shoot 1. And Lovercheck will pick up the foul. I was about to say that they have started playing and getting out of the transition up and down, and yet they were still able to get in and get a big hoop there.
Yep. Seems like they've been effective with both, Rob. I mean, they get in a half-court set.
Ford is going to be called for an offensive foul on the rebound as the free throw no good, so Rodriguez has 8.
The quickness of their guards getting to the rim, the size of their bigs underneath, they've shown some versatility. This team reminds me, I don't know how much you remember the Southwestern Christian teams. I mean, a good guard play, big bodies underneath the basket. I just reminds me a little bit of Mark Arthur's bunch.
10-point lead for Arlington Baptist. Plank in the lane, missed it, no good. Rodriguez with the rebound. He's going to yank it free, and we will get a timeout taken by Arlington before the held ball. Or they're going to call a held ball first. They're going to call a held ball. So there is no timeout charged, and Ford will inbound to Reed. And yeah, it's been a year or two since I've seen Southwestern play, but yes, they had some size. Some big guys down in Oklahoma who looked like they played football at one point in time, and good, quick guards.
Yep, Nolan Johnson was one of their guards. Roman Owen, the Maravich Award winner. He had some talent.
Reed has it with a stop-and-go move on Hartung. They'll get it to Green, who elevates from the foul line area and knocks another one down. He has 13 points. 7.5 minutes to play, 61-49. Shot put up no good, and Rodriguez with the rebound. Reed will push it off to Ford. Reverse layup is good. Ford with 14 points, and that time they got out in transition and got loose. Plank in the corner. Ford defending. He's got 3 fouls. Entz has it at the foul line area. We approach 7 minutes to go in the game. 63-49, and every time Grace closes the gap, Arlington puts a little run together as Plank gets to the hoop and hits the layup, and we'll get a timeout taken. Plank has 12, and the timeout called with 6:54 to go. As you see the score, a 12-point lead for Arlington Baptist.
Today's game brought to you by Grace University in Omaha, Nebraska. At Grace, you can expect a great education. It's a given, but the folks at Grace University also believe that what's in your heart is just as important as what's in your head. Combine your intellect with your faith at Grace University. Grace University is all about life preparation. Questions, contact Grace University at graceu.edu. We say thanks to Chris Pruitt and the marketing folks at Grace University for their support of the 2013 National Championship.
You didn't think you were just going to sit there and look pretty, did you? I'm going to make you do some work. The timeout, this obviously a 60-second timeout, so I believe they are out of fulls and just have a couple of short ones left with 6:54 to go. And back to within 12. I think Willie Williams feels rightfully so that he's got to get some stops here, and so he calls the timeout to change defenses accordingly.
And I'm just not sure, Rob, exactly what you can do. The guards are getting into the lane. The bigs are coming over to help. It's setting up offensive rebound opportunities. I'm not sure unless these guards can kind of slow down the Arlington guards. I'm not sure what's going to happen because the backboards have not been kind here in the second half.
That's because they're able to spread things out, and right now getting a little more motion as Garcia's back in. Schrake on the baseline to Ford, and that time Evans will make him shoot, but for Lance Evans, that could be number 5 if it's on him.
He was straight up.
Number 30, Lance Evans. That's his 5th personal foul. Team 7. They are now in the penalty.
So Evans has fouled out with 6 points with 6:34 remaining.
Evans will pay the price that Johnny Schrake got into the lane and set all that up, and Evans just came over and tried to provide some help.
And that's one of those situations where if help doesn't get there, then that's when you see Arlington's guards being able to get through or dish it off to a post player for the basket. Free throw, good for Ford, who has 15.
Kind of a pick your poison.
When your guards can get to the rack, it certainly makes it a lot easier. 16 for Ford on a 14.1 point per game average. So their leading scorer with 10 second half points to take over the scoring lead. 65-51, Plank in the lane. His roller won't go, and he follows the shot, fighting Rodriguez for the rebound, and Rodriguez able to save it in, and now they're going to walk it up slowly. Mark Spare defending for Grace University. Rod Reed with the basketball, 20 on the shot clock, 6 minutes to go in the game. A 14-point lead for Arlington Baptist, the number 7 seed. Ford has it outside beyond the arc. They'll give the ball to Schrake, who will get it to Garcia with 5 to shoot. Reed with 3. He's going to jump from way downtown. It's going to barely draw iron, and Lovercheck will get to the ball and get into the open floor. He'll find Plank for 3. No good. Rebound to Spare underneath. His shot off the glass is good. Spare with his first 2 of the game, and it's down to 12.
Hey, fist! Get through it, Mark!
Ford's going to set. That's what we're talking about, the moving screen, because he kind of slides with it. And he's not the only one. It's college basketball wide if you ever watch. And he'll stop briefly, and then Schrake will pull up, miss the jumper, but Ford gets the putback. Ford with 18, and he has 12 second-half points. Stewart into the lane, layup, good, and a foul.
Ford, one of those guys, the game's going to be over. You're going to be talking about the guards, and 18 points in this game. He's really been solid underneath the basket, kind of a quiet, silent assassin tonight for Arlington Baptist.
Free throw is no good for Stewart, who has 11, his first 2 of the second half. You're going to sit back and you're going to see, you talk about the guards, and yet Ford is going to possibly have a double-double.
Yeah.
Reed into the lane, dumps it off to Ford. Layup, no, he left it short. Ends the rebound. High arcing pass, and Garcia gets to the ball before Plank does, but couldn't save it in bounds. So it will stay with Grace University under their basket with 4:32 to go. Now, before you sit back and think, this is only a 12-point margin. So you've got 4 possessions. And in this game, the way it's gone up and down the floor, that's really not that many possessions. I mean, you got to get a stop and get – we've seen runs like this before, so they're not out of it yet.
No, they're still going to have opportunities, but it's going to start defensively, which is what Willie Williams has been preaching all season long.
There's Lovercheck getting into the lane, and it works out well as Rodriguez will get called for the foul, his first. And by that, it works out well because they get an opportunity to score points with the clock stopped.
Mm-hmm.
So you make 2 throws here, and it's 10. But you got to make them, and that one rolls off no good. He'll miss them both, and Josh Green will get the rebound. Missed opportunity there. Green will get it to Ford, back to Green. Long rebound, Karam's out, and it was touched by the defense. So it'll stay with Arlington Baptist. Rafael Garcia back in for Josh Green.
Number 33, Rafael Garcia.
Plank will try to reach in and poke it away. Schrake dribbles between defenders and gets it to Rodriguez. Rodriguez sets a solid screen. Schrake off balance, missed it, no good. Rodriguez goes back up and lays it in. Hugo Rodriguez in double figures. He'll have a double-double today. 10 points. And it's a 14-point game again.
Let's go. Fist motion. Let's go.
Plank for 3. Off, no good. Ince gets the rebound. Puts it back up. Nice power move by Levi Ince, who has 4. So it's a 12-point game with 3:15 remaining. And right now you'll see Arlington trying to look to hang on to the ball, but Reed got going a little too fast and threw it away.
It's probably one of those situations with a 12-point lead and 3:05 left. If you're not absolutely certain you're going to get it there, you don't need to make that pass. The clock is your 6th man right now.
Washington will inbound the basketball as he comes back in. Hakeem Stewart will get it ahead to Treston Mayo. Mayo will find Lovercheck in the lane. Nice move. And the finish. Lovercheck with 14. 10-point game. So you start getting a couple of misses here and convert quickly. But eventually it's going to get down to where you don't have enough possession. So yeah. Ford sets a solid screen that time. And Reed for 3. That's good. That's the 4th 3 of the game. He's got 18 points. Ford has 18 points. And the lead is 13 with 2:20 to go. And that hurt Grace's cause as Stewart drives into the lane. Couldn't shoot it over Rodriguez. Missed it. Got it up on the glass. But Ford, you got to love that. I don't know if you saw in there, Rodriguez was underneath the basket after taking the charge attempt and forced, get up, we got to go down here. We're under 2 minutes, and they've got a 13-point lead and the ball.
I'm not sure I'd be allowing them to run this thing down, Rob.
They poke it away from Green, who checked back in, and Reed will miss a three, and the rebound knocked out of bounds. Last touched by Arlington Baptist.
Hey, right here, let's go. Right now.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think they're in a position now where they're going to have to start sending them to the line, and we're going to get a timeout taken by Arlington Baptist with 1:43 remaining in the game. 72-59. The Patriots have the advantage, and this will be a full timeout, and I think they're wanting to discuss what, first of all, those guys need to talk about slowing this game down and trying to extend it, and the only way to do that is to start sending them to the free throw line.
The Arlington coach just sent 4 reserves to the table, so not sure if that means he thinks this game is on ice. I better believe what I know about Willie Williams. He's going to play the final minute 43, and he's going to force them to hit free throws. I'm not sure I want 4 guys fresh off the bench shooting those 1-and-1 opportunities and maybe giving life to Grace with some misses. So
I would imagine that would be something that'll happen once or twice before those guys get back in there. 1:43 to go after the called timeout, and Grace has 2 timeouts remaining. And Arlington is sitting there thinking that it better not get to the point that they have to use all of theirs. They've got 4 left. So you do have some new ones in the game. Josh Penny, a freshman, is in. Kendall Washington is back in. Willie Claiborne, a freshman, is in at 6'4" on the inside. And Mayo's going to miss the 3. Shrake will grab the rebound, and he's going to try to run away from him and get the ball ahead. Also handling the ball is Brian Owen, a 5'9" freshman, and they're going to try to foul him and can't do it. And there is a foul by Mayo. Mayo will pick up his 3rd.
Hey, box here. Who's got shooter? Box here.
And you will see
Hands off your knees, fellas. Get ready to go. Come on, come on.
Penny at the line to shoot. And he'll calmly hit the first one. And every free throw they hit keeps them out there a little longer.
Absolutely.
1:20 remaining. This is the first of 4 today here from Central Bible College in Springfield, Missouri. The second free throw is no good. And the rebound to Stewart. Stewart pitches outside. Plank had his foot on the arc as he missed it long. Plank will follow his own shot in the lane and will get to the line as Shrake, more than trying to block the shot, happened to get in the way. So Johnny Shrake with his second foul with 1:05 left to go. 14-point lead. 13-point lead for Arlington Baptist. 13 for Plank, and here come the starters back, with the exception of Shrake.
It's a bizarre substitution, Rob. Been doing this a long time. I'm not sure I've seen.
Hey, they get their feet wet, get to play in the national tournament, and it's like, okay, we need to close this. Plank hits 2 throws. He has 14. Knowing that they're going to see pressure, Reed's back in. He'll go over the top to Green. And, yeah, they had a 2-on-1, but the clock is their enemy right now. And we'll get a foul, and Lovercheck will pick up his second. 57.4 left to play. First free throw up and down for Green, who has 14.
So it looks like we're going to have what? Number 2 Northland, number 7 Arlington Thursday. Pete Weary on his going away party up at Northland will take on these Patriots.
14 points for Green after missing the second one. Stewart, 3 ball is good. 14 for Stewart, his second 3, and a timeout for Grace. It's a 10-point game with 48.7 seconds remaining. I don't know that you're expected to shoot threes the rest of the way, but if you get a good 3, you got to take it.
Absolutely. Down 10, 48.7 left. The thing that surprised me, talking strategy here, was there was a timeout Arlington called about a minute ago. So you know they're in the huddle saying, it was Grace's basketball. You missed the shot, we're going to foul right away. And they let about 15 seconds come off the clock before they even attempted to chase somebody down. And you just, every second is obviously critical. So it's going to come down to catching them quick, getting some steals, and making some shots. But I'm just not sure they've got enough time to do it.
Well, they might not, but here's the thing. You can't let the ball get in bounds. In other words, the ball comes in and somebody's got to get hacked.
Yeah.
You got to stop the clock immediately. And the last trip down that you were just talking about, that can't happen.
They were sitting in half court while the Patriot was dribbling it out near the forecourt. And it was Willie Williams coming out of a timeout that had to yell to his guys to hack, and there shouldn't have been any yelling. That's an obvious foul situation.
On the inbound, they're going to get it to Reed, and see right away you've already gone longer than.
Yep.
And I understand you want to let Ford shoot some throws as opposed to the guard.
That's his first person. Team 10.
So Hartung with his first foul, and Ford at the line with 18. The game's leading scorer with 19. Reed has 18. Green with 14. And he'll be shooting one more time. And he'll miss it long, and Green goes to the floor to get the offensive rebound. So 19 for Ford. And a timeout taken by Arlington Baptist with 42.6 left. 75-64. And with Arlington getting the basketball and putting points on the board, that pretty well, I think, has closed it out.
I think so. It would take a Reggie Miller-like minor miracle here at the end to change this outcome. So,
well, and remembering watching that, and I like Donnie Walsh's comments. You know, you see on ESPN the story of Miller doing that when Mel Daniels went in and said, Reggie just tied the game. Get out of here and leave me alone. Don't mess with me now. Of course, I'm not sure that's exactly what he said, but
it may have been a couple other words.
Yeah, and the point is that it can happen, but things like that can't in order to have that happen. Arlington will keep the basketball. They have 3 timeouts remaining. Grace has 1. 42.6 remaining in the game and a full shot clock. We'll never get there because somebody needs to get fouled, and Lovercheck will foul Ford, who got it underneath.
The fact that he was shooting really irrelevant right now. Grace over the 10-foul limit, so you get one of the bigs to catch it, and he gets 2 either way. So they did it pretty quick.
Free throw by Ford is good. He has 20. He'll get both of them. 21 for Ford, 77-64. Stewart will get to the basket, try to draw the foul, but can't. Green will get the rebound, the outlet to Schrake, and he is going to wait for the defense to catch up and foul with 27.8 seconds left. And the foul is on Plank. Free throw is up and good for Schrake. He has 5, his first here in the second half. Trenton McNeil, a freshman, into the ball game. Mark Spare comes back in. Washington is back in for Grace University. And we will see Willie Claiborne, a freshman, come back. Also in is Brian Owen, a freshman. Coming back in is Schrake. Knocks down 2 throws. He's got 6. And the lead 15. And number 7 will advance on to play number 2 on Thursday. And a lob off the glass. Catching it is Kendall Washington and throwing down a 2-hand dunk to put an exclamation point on an Arlington Baptist victory. 81-64. Deep 3 missed by Spare, no good. And the rebound pulled down by Arlington Baptist. And Brian Owens will hang on, and the ball game is over. 81-64 is our final, as the number 7 seed Arlington Baptist will advance. And they will play on Thursday afternoon, as they will face Northland Invitational. So the first final of the day, 81-64. Arlington Baptist with the victory in the ball game. As we take a quick look at the individuals scoring unofficially, 21 points for Jeremiah Ford. We'll see if we can get the stat sheet, because I would like to see how many rebounds between Ford and Garcia they had today, because both were, I know Rodriguez had 7, so we're looking at a double-double for him. But I also think Jeremiah Ford has a double-double as well. 21 for Ford, 18 for Reed. Rod Reed with 4 3-pointers. Josh Green has 14, including a 3, and Rodriguez with 10. Rafael Garcia has 9 unofficially. 6 for Johnny Schrake, 2 for Kendall Washington, and Josh Penny with a free throw in the ball game. And you look at 18 points and, 10 points and 18 rebounds for Hugo Rodriguez. And, well, that Ford didn't have as many rebounds as I thought he did, but it sure looked like he had quite a few.
I'd still take 21 and 7 in my first NCCAA national tournament.
Yeah, I would too. I would take 21 and 7 at that point. So that gives you the rundown for Arlington Baptist. 14 points for Spencer Plank and Hakeem Stewart. 15 for Mike Lovercheck, all in the second half. Then you're looking at 6 from J.J. Hartung and Lance Evans. Levi Ince with 4 and Mark Spare with 2. Preston Mayo hit a 3 in the ball game, and that will give them their total of 64. And Rick, you take a look and just had a few too many possessions for the Royals to be able to catch up here this afternoon.
You go back to the pregame interview we had with Willie Williams. He said, we've got to rebound the basketball. They got out-rebounded by 8. We want to hold them to 68. They give up 81. And he didn't give me a field goal percentage number, but you better believe that 56 was way too high in the first half when they built an 11-point hole, and they gave up 48% shooting for the game. They just too many things that they did not do defensively, and you're not going to win a national tournament game with those kind of numbers.
Well, Arlington Baptist hits 29 of 61 from the floor, 48%, 8 of 20 from 3 for 40%, and 15 of 23 from the line for 65%. And Grace, 26 of 58 for 45%, 4 of 17 from 3, that's 24%, and 8 of 13 from the line, 62% there, as Arlington Baptist wins it, and they will advance to play Thursday afternoon at 2 o'clock against the number 2 seed Northland International. Our next game coming up at 4 o'clock. We'll face the number 6 seed Valley Forge against Ozark Christian, and we invite you to stay tuned and join us.